Um, especially in lieu of the way the world is going now, in lieu of world events nowadays. Does this come off? Oh, it's still on, that's fine. Okay.
Hello, good citizens. Welcome back to Documenting and Exposing West Shore RCMP. This is part 26. This video will be a follow-up video to part 21. After watching part 21, one of my viewers, named Kevin, set out to make a formal complaint to the Law Society of British Columbia. And Kevin made a conduct complaint against the prosecutor at my trial, Nicholas Barber. So Kevin got in contact with me and I gave him the information he needed to make that formal complaint. And shortly before Christmas in 2021, Kevin got the results of his complaint. And of course, as we all know, as you all remember, basically what the basis of Kevin's complaint was that Mr. Barber, the prosecutor at my trial, followed me and told me that he was going, if I didn't want to listen, I didn't want to learn, he was going to follow me home. He actually said this twice. And he said it in front of an independent witness, and he said it in front of a sheriff. He also said this within earshot of many other court staff. And Kevin, being the gentleman that he is, the good citizen that he is, he felt compelled to make a formal complaint. After seeing part 21, he was shocked and appalled with all the acts, the British Columbia laws that Mr. Barber broke, the criminal code sections that Mr. Barber broke. If you want to know more about the British Columbia laws and the criminal code violations that Mr. Barber committed on that day, just rewatch part 21. I go through it extensively. Won't go through it here again. So if you don't know what acts and laws he broke that I'm talking about, go watch that. So after waiting patiently a few months, Kevin got this response from the Law Society of British Columbia about his complaint about Mr. Barber threatening to follow me home. And the person who wrote this up, her name is Frances Gropper. And she writes to Kevin, she says, "Dear Kevin, I have completed my assessment of your complaint. Thank you for your time and effort in bringing your concerns to the attention of the Law Society. We rely on members of the public to alert us of any concerns about lawyers so we can regulate the legal profession in the public interest. Your complaint arises from a YouTube video which you watched and provided to the Law Society. You allege that Mr. Barber made threats against a person in the video's recording. In your complaint, you clarify that you are not affiliated to the alleged conversation with Mr. Barber. While I do not dismiss your version of the events, the evidence you have provided is insufficient to establish that Mr. Barber is in fact the person being recorded. Further, the recording was made in direct contravention of the court's policy on use of electronic devices in courtrooms. Wrong! The recording was made outside of a courtroom, hence why it's still on YouTube. Even if I were to accept your evidence that Mr. Barber is speaking in the recording, I disagree that the comments made amount to threatening, intimidating, or harassing behavior. Lawyers are expected to be courteous and civil and act in good faith with all persons who they have dealings in course of their practice. The Supreme Court of Canada made a determination regarding incivility in Gruy versus Law Society of Upper Canada. One of the court's findings was that the conduct of a lawyer must be very serious and beyond mere rudeness to constitute professional misconduct. In my opinion, the conduct alleged does not meet the threshold to constitute a discipline violation. For the reasons described above, I have concluded that there are no facts provided supporting a finding of a discipline violation. Accordingly, I have closed the file pursuant to Rule 3, yada yada yada, of the Law Society Rules 2015, which reads, the Executive Director may decline to investigate a complaint if the Investigative Director is satisfied that the complaint does not allege facts that, if proven, would constitute a discipline violation. We will provide Mr. Barber with a copy of your complaint and a copy of this letter for his information. And then she goes on to say, you can make a complaint to the ombudsperson if you want. And Kevin asked about that, and I reminded him about the video that I made where I had made a complaint to the ombudsperson. It was a very urgent complaint. It was a threat of being held in prison, having my bail revoked. So it was an extremely urgent complaint. And if they're going to take 15 months to respond to a complaint, considering that the complaint is about they're about to throw me in prison, it's a useless agency, in my opinion. So, yeah, anyway, that's what the Law Society of British Columbia has to say about Mr. Barber being a prosecutor and following the accused and threatening to follow the accused home, not once but twice. It's not threatening. It's not intimidating. It's not harassment. What are you talking about, Kevin? So, who is the Law Society of British Columbia? Well, let's go to their website. Let's check it out and see what they do. Yeah, here it is. This website's like a breath of fresh air. So it says here on their homepage here, it says that protecting the public interest, ensuring the independence, integrity, honor, and competence of BC lawyers. And sure enough, they have a section called About Us. So what do they say in About Us? Well, it says here, the Law Society of British Columbia ensures the public is well served by legal professionals who are honorable and competent. We regulate the legal profession in BC. Protecting the public interest in the administration of justice by setting and enforcing standards of professional conduct for lawyers. We also bring a voice to issues affecting the justice system and the delivery of legal services. So, thanks, Law Society of British Columbia. So what do you guys think about the Law Society of British Columbia saying that when one of their prosecutors is prosecuting an accused person and they follow that accused person and then tell that person as they're following them, I'm going to follow you home, not once but twice, in front of an independent witness and a sheriff? Yeah, according to the Law Society of British Columbia, that's not threatening, that's not intimidating, that's not harassment. That's not contrary to any of the British Columbia acts or laws or sections of the Criminal Code of Canada. Oh yeah. Just imagine just imagine showing up at a courthouse anywhere in Canada or or anywhere in the world and just randomly telling people, I'm going to follow you home. If you don't want to listen, you don't want to learn, I'm going to follow you home. You get zapped and strapped like instantly. Boom, you're done skis. You're in a cell. You're facing criminal charges. You're not going anywhere for God knows how long. Do you have any idea what kind of serious criminal charges you would be facing if you went to a courthouse and started telling people that you were going to follow them home? Whether you knew them or not? Well, thanks, Law Society of British Columbia, for protecting the public interest in the administration of justice and by setting and enforcing standards of professional conduct for lawyers. Thanks, eh? Great job! Now, I also found it interesting in this complaint process that this person, Francis Gropper, that did this assessment on Kevin's complaint, didn't interview anyone, any of the witnesses or myself or anything. And I really thought that was odd until I, of course, realized that it didn't matter. It didn't matter that somebody independent witnessed it, because a prosecutor threatening to follow an accused person home, that's not intimidation. That's not harassment. That's not threatening. So yeah, it would have been a waste of time to interview any witnesses or myself, because according to the Law Society of British Columbia, when a prosecutor threatens to follow the accused person home and is following them, that is completely acceptable conduct. Like, why on earth, Kevin, would you make a complaint about this? Why on earth would the Law Society of British Columbia step in and discipline Mr. Barber over this? Nope, Law Society's totally okay with this. Anyway, so that's that. So that's fine. That's nice. Let me know in the comments what you guys think about the Law Society of British Columbia. So anyways, as the timeline goes, a settlement conference was rescheduled, as in the last one, the judge ordered all parties must appear in person. So I'm back in court for that rescheduled settlement conference where everyone's supposed to appear in person. And the court clerk calls the matter before the judge, and I look around and I'm saying to myself, hey, where is everyone? I'm the only one here. It's me and the court clerk, a judge, and a couple of sheriffs. Where's the defendants that were all supposed to show up in person? Oh, the court clerk's dialing them up on the phone. Oh, they're not appearing in person. Oh, isn't that contempt of court? Wow, defying a judge's order. A lawyer for the Department of Justice, a lawyer for the RCMP, and a high-ranking member of the RCMP, all defying a judge's order to appear in person. Contempt of court. Wow! So, I could have said something to the judge and said, hey, but, how many more days off work do I need here, right? So I just said, you know what, let's just move forward and see what we can do here. So with that judge at that settlement conference, of course, nobody wanted to settle. So we didn't settle. So we had another court date. So I go to the JCM, the Judicial Case Manager. I go into her office. She's a Justice of the Peace. And I inform her that the judge instructed me to come here to set another date for a applications hearing. And this Justice of the Peace is also responsible for setting the dates and times for all the parties and cases. And so she says to me, she looks at me and she says to me, where are the defendants? I said, oh, they defied the judge's order. They're not here today. She goes, oh, they were supposed to be here in person. I said, yeah, I know. They defied the judge's order. Isn't that contempt of court? She goes, oh. So anyways, we sat down and decided to chat over this via email, and I tried to get the Justice of the Peace to get a little something on the record through the email here about the defendants not showing up. So I asked her, I says, also, question for your worship. In considering making a complaint about the defendant's non-attendance as ordered in August 2020 at Western's Community Courthouse, would a complaint be better served towards the Western Community staff or the Department of Justice or both or someone else? Thank you in advance. To which she did not respond directly to. Smart move, your worship, smart move. So what do you guys think about a lawyer that works for the Department of Justice, a lawyer that works for the RCMP, and a high-ranking member of the RCMP himself defying a judge's order and not appearing in person? As ordered. Whoa. Oh yeah, you see now why they don't allow you to record in court? You see why they don't want you to record anything? You see why these settlement conference hearings are off the record? Well, if you were wondering before, now you know why. So anyways, we set another date down the road for another application hearing, and it's a very long hearing. It's a very long transcript. I'm still waiting on the transcript, but that's going to take a while to make probably 2 videos out of. And if y'all wouldn't mind, just before we go, give Kevin a shout out in the comments. Give him a hell yeah. I personally want to thank you, Kevin, for at least trying to make this complaint happen. So thank you, Kevin. And this is one thing that I wanted to show on my YouTube channel, is it doesn't matter who makes the complaint. I always say, oh, they never take my complaint or whatever, right? But here we are, there's a very serious issue as someone else makes the complaint, has all the evidence, and that's not intimidation, that's not threatening, that's not harassment. So there you go. So thank you, Kevin. So that's all I got for you for now. Until part 27, thanks for watching.